Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham live from, not started yet, but we're at Nashboro 2017 and people are arriving and it just was raining. There's a little bit of flying going on. Literally, Matt, when you were texting me, stinking hot to everything I own is getting soaking wet. So, Jason, when I was talking to you, I literally was pulling in shirts, amplifiers, guitars, the whole dang deal.
Well,
should have had it on the east side of town. It's sunny.
Well, it only lasted for like long enough for me to move everything, and then it stopped raining.
Good. So is it starting to get packed there or what? I think we lost him.
Hey.
Well, anyway, Jim didn't have much of a signal out there in the field, so
that did not last long at all.
That lasted all like 5 seconds.
I'm still I'm still here.
Oh, we heard nothing, man. You were frozen solid.
Hey.
Back?
Yeah, you are now.
Okay,
you're back.
If I go away, don't even sweat it. Just assume that I will be back. If I'm not, I'll take care of business.
Right on. So is it? What's it looking like there?
Well, we're supposed to have 90 degree in the daytime, 67 at night, and cloudy, which is kind of perfect, I think, because you don't want to get too hot, you know.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
We're moderate. I'd say we're at least halfway in as far as people go. So this is one half of the flight line, and then I've got people literally pulling in on the other side. And so this is where I'll live until Sunday.
Man, I wanted
happy birthday to Jason Cole. He's 20 years old. You can drink tonight.
That's right.
Jason, you had your shirt on last week, right?
I pretty much have my shirt on every day.
But
how old are you, man? It said, how old are you now?
Oh, 38, yo.
Are you really?
Working my way up.
I would have guessed 28 or something.
Oh.
So, all right.
Okay, so I'm feeling the lag of energy, but we're going to pep it up. Jason, I'm going to pitch it to you. I need you to discuss what we did at the field only yesterday.
So Jim T and I headed to the field. We had some stuff to video and get photographs of. So I took the little ultra micro T28S from Horizon out, and it was beautiful because the wind was literally zero. If the wind could be less than zero, that's what it was at the field. It was
like flying in a
nothing.
It was so
it was
wind,
amazing.
it was
So it was perfect for flying that little plane, and I gotta say, it flies. I haven't flown an ultra micro in a while. Like I think the last one I had was the ultra micro Radian. So it was kind of nice to get back to something really small that I could take indoors into a gym, and it's fully aerobatic. I had the ready to fly version, so it came with their little transmitter, which not awesome, but it's great for being small and portable. I'll probably bind it to my own DX9 later. But I wanted to use the radio they sent for the review. And it's got 3 flight modes, so it's got a oh my gosh, it almost doesn't move kind of mode for beginners, where it just has really shallow bank angle and pitch angles. You can't get into trouble in this mode. You just fly around. It just does what it does. It self-levels. And in the medium rate mode, it banks over pretty good, but it won't roll vertical. It won't do aerobatics, but you get more aggressive handling, auto leveling, and easy safe flying. And then you get the full aerobatic mode. Still got the AS3X going on, so fly smooth, but you can do loops and rolls and point rolls and inverted flight and all this stuff. It just looks good. I love the new yellow color scheme. That looks great. And then it's also got the safe panic recovery button. So I was showing the guys out there, I would get it inverted or dive it straight down and out of whack, and then just press and hold that little button, and then it instantly levels out, flies itself. So it's really great for new pilots. If they get in trouble, just hold that button down, it's going to be fine. You don't have to worry one bit.
Hey, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Where's Randy at?
Randy's right over there.
Where? Right there. Hey, Jason, in a second, we're going to talk about the commander. But before we do, let's do a live interview with the executive vice president candidate of the AMA. Are you ready for a live interview? Come on over here.
Hey, Jim, back your camera away from your face a little bit. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. You there, Jason?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
We lose Jim again?
I think so. You know what I like about that T28 is definitely the color. What about the gear drive on it? Is that sort of old technology, or is that, you know, I've seen those on some of the older planes, such as
it's just an efficient way to power a microplane like this. So it's kind of too small for. I mean, you could put brushless on it, but then you're gonna need a bigger battery, and it's gonna weigh more, and you're gonna lose a little bit of the flight handling. So it works great. You know, will it burn out eventually? Yes. I mean, but that's, you know, I don't know that I'll even see that happen before I'm done with the airplane. But
you know, I've been flying the F-27, and it's got that same sort of safe select where it limits the bank angle and stuff like that. I found that more to be a nuisance, in my opinion. It really puts it barely into a 45-degree turn. Yeah. And I remember turning the first time that I had it in that mode and thinking that I was locked out.
Yeah.
Turning, and I'm like, this thing isn't going anywhere. So I put more and more, and then it just goes like this over. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's browning out and coming back, browning out and coming back. But
it is an adjustment, especially because of the auto level. Because to turn and keep turning, you have to hold the stick.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you're used to like putting in whatever bank you want and then letting it go back to neutral and then flying through the bank. So it's an adjustment, but it's still, you know, good safe for low time pilots who are just getting the hang of things. That's
sure. And then when you take it out of that, it really does buff it out some of that wind that you get. So they fly like they're on a rail, man. It's hard to get such a small airplane such as a UMX T28 to fly without bouncing up and down in the wind. But it does it, man. It does it really well. That little Striker's like that too.
So the other thing we flew, I don't know if Jim's going to be able to jump back in or not. So I'll just go ahead and talk about it and tell the story. So Jim gets the Commander. You know, the David Payne, Marco Pirelli design, kind of a classic, like, you know, a modern classic lines, if you'd say. It's not really
got the checkerboard bottom, but it's still got the modern cowl on it. I like it.
Pretty good looking airplane. So we go out there and we're getting ready for the maiden flight, and I get to control. I wiggle the sticks, make sure stuff's moving in the right direction. I really didn't check. Do like a proper pre-flight. I was just like, Jim said he did. I assumed it was done, and I just, you know, okay, this is moving in the right direction.
Sure.
Let's go do this. We did it. We did do a CG check. I don't know why I didn't check everything else, but we did.
You know, that's a good thing to do.
So I go and I start. It's taxiing beautiful. It's handling great. I get up to flight speed, and the thing just goes 90 degrees straight up.
What happened?
Off the runway, and I'm like, whoa! And I push like full down elevator on the stick, and I get it to pitch over, and I'm having to hold like 80% down elevator to fly level. And the guys are like, it's tail heavy. I'm like, no, it's not tail heavy because I'm holding full stick down almost, and it's stable in this position. I'm just gonna bring it in and land it. So I'm like holding full stick, driving this thing around carefully. I get it back around, line up, and there was no flare. There was no pulling back on the stick flare. There was just relaxing down elevator slightly.
Yeah.
And we get it on the ground and we look, and I don't remember like not noticing this. I feel like I looked at the surfaces, but the elevator for neutral was like way up elevator.
And
like,
you know, that happens to the best of us, man.
So we had to pull the clevis off, and I adjusted it, and we got it neutraled out. So once that was done, oh my gosh, the Commander is amazing to fly.
Heck yeah.
The takeoff was almost just like watching a scale Cessna, just beautiful, and it doesn't like you can just yank it off the ground if you want, like I did the first flight, but it just lifts off beautifully, just like you want a good looking airplane to do. And it handles like a pattern plane. It was so precise. I was doing pattern maneuvers within 2 minutes, point rolls, like just super precision things, snaps.
Who would have thought?
I'm sitting here like to myself, I'm like, this thing flies amazing.
Who would have thought that modern foam airplanes would be precise, would track straight, things like that. That goes against everything that people said years ago about the advent of foam. It doesn't have the precision, the snappiness that balsa has. Not true at all. It definitely has a great feel to it, and I think that is a testament to it.
Yeah, it's not my review. I didn't get paid to say any of this. This is just my personal opinion. It blew me away off the first flight at how well it performed and handled. I was like, this plane's awesome, hands down, 2 thumbs up. They did a great job. So, man, if you get a chance to fly it, go for it.
Jimbo, you back, buddy?
Yeah, I guess so. When it took off, it just looked like it was on rails. It was just locked in. Now, Jason, did you tell him I did to you?
Yeah, I did tell him.
It's
off the ground. And, oh.
We told the story.
It's interesting. I can count the number of times that I have been surprised by a adverse flight condition on a maiden like that. When you take off and the plane, for instance, I remember when my friend had his, I'm not going to say who he is. I don't want him to get embarrassed. But down at the pecan patch, one of my buddies forgot to plug in his ailerons. And
paper trails.
He kind of clammed up. I think he clammed up because you have to make a split-second decision. Okay, the plane is not flying, and the ailerons were not straight, so it was getting a little bit of a bank, right? Not bad, but he didn't think, okay, all I have to really do now is fly the plane with the rudder only. But your brain doesn't work like that. When you look back on it, you can always say, yeah, that's what I should have done. But in that split-second decision, man, things can go wrong so quickly, and that's awesome that you were able to get it back on the ground.
Yeah, guys watching, they were like, a normal person landed that airplane, they'd have crashed it.
Yeah.
I must have a horrendous lag going on.
Yeah, it's kind of having some audio issues on your end. So I did the review of the Torrent 110 and met my friend Lonnie King, who's a Ohio racer, quad racer here, and he met me up at a really cool park right on Lake Erie. Again, it was just like what you guys were saying. It was like flying in a vacuum. There was no wind at all, and it was a park right on the water. So I gave it the sticks to him, and he banged them around for a while. We put 2 packs through it on 2S, and then we put a pack through it on a 3S 450. And what a capable quad! We were heading all the way down to the far end of this park, which is 1/8 of a mile, and through trees, weaving all through the trees underneath, all the way to the end of it, and had perfect signal with 150 milliwatts through the trees.
Huh.
So great little quad, had no problems with it at all. Does have a little bit of jello in it, and I think that that is due to those big honking 3-blade props that are bolted on there with just 2 screws. There's some imbalance, just a little bit of imbalance, especially on a carbon fiber 110 frame. So the Torrent 110 thread on RCGroups, a lot of people are removing those metal standoffs that separate the boards, and they're replacing them with little rubber damper ones, really cheap little rubber ones, and it's completely removing all of the vibrations. So there's no jello at all from the CMOS camera. So
cool.
I liked it a lot. Great little aircraft. Also flew the Inductrix FPV Pro. That's not the Plus. It's not the new one that just came out. It's the previous one. And we did a review for that. We flew the whole thing outside in a little bit of a breeze. And in acro mode, that little thing can handle that. All that wind outdoors, no problem at all. So I was highly impressed with it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I flew yesterday at the field?
Tell me.
I flew the new HX, right? HX, yeah, camera from ProSight, from Amazon Connex.
That's not a double, is it?
The HX? No. It's their new 720 60 frames per second.
Oh, that's the one that you got that you were going to tell me about and never did. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Finally got to fly it. And, dude, it's awesome. I mean, the having the 60 frames per second, something about that made it feel buttery smooth, and which you would expect from 60 frames per second. I mean, it's exactly what like you think it would be, but it is quite a bit different than the stock camera at 30 frames per second. It's noticeably better in the goggles. I'd used Jim's new focal DVRs too to fly.
Yeah.
And it was a nice, good screen. It was great to fly from, but I had the mini drac with it, and I pointed the antennas off to the long side of the field, and so I was buzzing around trees and tree chop level, checking out different fields around our flight area.
Now, what's the price on that camera?
99, I think. I think they dropped the original price to maybe 79, and then this new one's 99, which is the same price as what the old one used to be. So, but dude, it's well worth it if you've got a pro sight. The quad guys are gonna love it for sure, and us few wing guys that are flying, man, it makes a pretty good difference. So I'm glad I picked that up, and it was well worth the money.
And you're using Alex Ivy Crazy's. Oh my gosh, what's the name of that system?
Oh man, you just made me forget.
Yeah, it's
Genesis.
some sort of. It's got to be some sort of Greek god name.
Isn't it Genesis?
Genesis. That's not a Greek god name.
Isn't that it though? I think that's the name of it.
That is Genesis. I was wrong on my naming convention, but yeah. So it's the VAS Video Aerial Systems Genesis. They have a linear version, and they have a circular. Now you have the what?
I got the linear, and I kind of wish I had the circular. I think, but
do you really think so?
I don't have the. It's just that only in the fact that I don't do long range stuff, and the linear version is made for long range.
So are you getting a little bit of distortion or cutting out?
I mean, slightly, not enough to be a big deal. It's totally flyable. It works perfect for what it is. I just think if I want to get really down low and through some slight trees around behind some trees and things,
You got to go circular.
Circular polarized is probably more my flying style.
Right. So the only difference is that you're getting greater multipathing rejection, right?
With the circular?
With the circular.
Yeah.
You get a little bit more gain with the linear. Is that the popular?
You get a little bit more gain, and so you get more distance, straight out line of sight.
So I've got both of them, but I have not flown the linear yet because I've had such a good experience on the circular.
There you go.
I went a mile out easy on the circular array. No problems at all. So if that doesn't say anything good, I don't know what does. Yeah. And that's kind of scary going out that far when you don't have a data stream in front of you, except for signal quality and voltage. That's it. So one of these days soon, or maybe never, they will integrate with Eagle Tree.
Man, I would love that. Yeah.
Talk about just getting rid of all my analog stuff. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The analog systems are Cold War Russian technology. That is all it is. It is literally very low bit rate stuff. And it is high time that we went full HD with our FPV signals. And
it's got to happen.
Having the, Foxtech has it, right? They allow you to use a GoPro or any other camera with an HDMI output. And Connex has their proprietary camera system. And they're all pretty affordable in the $200 to $300 range, right? So things are getting down and close to where we want. But the only flight controllers that integrate with them are Pixhawk-based systems. And I would like to see that go the other direction.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's all, we're still very early. Even though we're years and years and years down the road with FPV, there still is like a long way to go, and you can tell that it's not utterly refined yet to where it's fully mature, and that's still to come. So it's still exciting, technology progress that's happening, and it's going to continue that way for years probably.
I still can't believe that the distance we've gone with the technology in like a 4-year span. Like, things that happened 4 years ago are old school now. My 310 millimeter quad that I have is like archaic and slow. Yeah. And I remember when I did my first flip with it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!" And it was this big lumbering. It was it's a hovership MXP 310 or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a monster quad, and I still think it's somewhat fast. And then you look at the 110s.
Yeah.
Three of those in a row, so to speak.
Yeah. It's gotten the level of skill from the latest and the best drone racers have just blown my mind. I guess it's that way with any discipline of the hobby. You'll see little kids doing 3D helicopter stuff. That's crazy. You'll see guys doing 3D airplanes and pattern and iMac and all these things. It's just the level of skill. It's not where it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It's just constantly getting better and better. Some of that's due to technology and airframes and better equipment, but a lot of that's just natural progression, and you just don't do the same things over and over again. You're constantly pushing the boundaries and the limits of what you're capable of and what these airplanes and things are capable of doing. And
especially in 3D.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I feel like you 38, 39 years old, we're aging out.
Yeah, we're elder statesmen in the.
It's such a no. I'm not elder. Definitely not a statesman.
Well, when I found out that since we were in our 30s, that if we decided we wanted to have children, it would be considered a geriatric pregnancy.
Oh,
at our age, I was like, no, what? You're crazy.
That's what we sort of did.
Here we are.
I got a 4-year-old, man. I'm 39 years old, so we decided we were done. But you got a dog. That's your kid.
We got a doggy. Yeah. Actually, congrats to my boy. One of my best friends here just had their 9th baby delivered today.
Dude, get off of her.
So I'm gonna go over to it's my birthday, and then now they have a kid with my birthday, so we're gonna go over there tonight. And
nice. Now you shouldn't be working today, man.
Yeah, man. It's okay. I actually got my article done. I'm playing with a little Tinkercad right before. I'm trying to figure it out, learn. It's like my first time getting into it. But
you like Tinkercad, huh? It's really easy.
I don't know. I mean, I literally just cracked it open. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Let me learn this. So,
well, the cool thing is that you can do subtractive is the main thing. So say if you want to make a complex shape, you would build the negative of that shape, insert it into the shape, and then hit subtract, right? And it's going to
because that's exactly what I want to do right now. One of the first things I want to do is put a logo inside of a wall of a display stand or something.
Easily done. So let's just say you're making a square. Let's just say you want to make a bathtub, right? Yeah. You would make a square, rectangle. Then you would make a smaller rectangle. You would slide it down into it, select the two of them, and hit subtract, and it will subtract that from that. And then you can keep adding shapes onto that, hitting subtract or add, and make some really complex things.
Is it easy to say the thing is like 5 millimeters thick, and then I want to have it subtract only like 2-3 millimeters in?
Yes. You don't have to move stuff by hand. You can actually move it by millimeters.
Cool.
So you would move it up. You would set it up so it's flat, and then you would hit negative 5 mils, and it will move it backwards 5 mils.
Awesome.
And not mils, millimeters. And then you'll hit subtract, and that's good. So,
yeah.
I like Tinkercad. It's a great program, easy to use. I use the AutoCAD free program. They don't really support it much anymore, but that was too difficult for me.
Yeah.
For my old brain. So Tinkercad's where it's at. And it runs online. Like you don't actually download the program. It just runs on cloud-based.
Yeah. Cool.
So.
Well, the other thing, I just came back from the Bruce DLG contest. I'll keep this short because I'm probably the only guy that cares about gliders in here.
Just thermaling for me, but you do like your DLGs.
But I got to say, the conditions were unbelievably epic. Normally, the Bruce is like brutal. It's like super rough, hard conditions, and that's, it makes it really exciting and challenging, and it was kind of the opposite. This year it was so easy. There were so many people maxing the scores out and made it like incredibly competitive at the top. So to put it in perspective, I ended the whole thing. I was in 10th by the round before the last round, and me losing like 8 seconds on one flight in the final round put me into 12th place. But that 12th place was only 102 points off of first place. First place, dude, if he had one bad flight that was more than 15 or 20 seconds, it would have been enough to put him out of first place and below me. Like,
wow. So he really was sweating bullets.
Yeah, it was incredibly tight race at the top, but it was so much fun because it was that good and just a good time with your buddies hanging out. He's got throwing knives. We were throwing knives and tomahawks into wood logs.
So basically it was just anything you can throw is how this went down. So tell me,
throwing party.
Tell me about the competition. Is it all up, last down, or is it certain? Is that the entire competition, or what?
Yeah, it's a whole. There's a number of different tasks. It's a bunch of tasks. We flew 12, 11 rounds, I think. So each round is a different task, and you'll be out there with a group of guys, and you're only competing against those group of guys that you're on the field with in the same air, right? So one task might be, there might be an all up, last down. So there's a 10, it's not really 10 minutes, but there's a launch buzzer. Everybody launches, and then you can max a 3-minute flight. So you might have multiple people get 3 minutes. You might have somebody get 1 minute or 2 minutes or whatever, some factor less than that. And then everybody lands, and then there's another timer, and you do that 3 times for a round. And then so you can have a 9-minute maximum score possible in that round. And so if you get all 9 minutes, you get 1,000. If you did 6 minutes, but you were the best of everybody in that group and everybody got less than that, you still get 1,000. Then everybody else gets points graded on the scale of where the top guy was. So if somebody got 9 minutes and you got 1 minute, you just lost a crap ton of points. If somebody got 9 minutes and you got 858, you didn't lose almost anything. You'll get like 998 or 99 points or something. And there's a lot of different tasks, which makes it challenging. So there's some that we call quick turn tasks.
Is that where you catch the plane?
Yeah, you catch it on the tip, try to get rid of it really fast, and you want to try to eliminate non-flying time. So the task is like fly 5 2-minute flights.
Yeah.
And so you have to come in, catch it, throw it, fly 2 minutes, catch it, throw it, fly 2 minutes. And so all that time between your transitions, if you drop it, you're losing seconds. If you come in early, you're losing seconds. If you come in over 2 minutes, you're losing seconds because you can only max a 2-minute flight for each flight. So there's a lot of skill involved in timing and reading air and thermals, and it's just a lot of fun. I love it. I dig it a lot. So got another one in a couple of weeks, and then another one a couple of weeks after that. So excited.
Now, do you do spot landing competitions?
You don't do spot landing. Basically, you have to land in the field. There's a giant rectangle, and then you have to just land in the field for the landing. And that can be you standing inside of the boundary line, and if you touch the airplane and it lands outside, that's still considered in. It basically is dead when you touched it, the time stops. So there's no like precision spot landing. You just have to get it in the field.
That's awesome, man. Now, where's the Bruce held? Is it in Tennessee?
It's up in Kentucky, near Louisville at Bruce Davidson's house.
Man, that's not – I think we're probably equidistant from that.
Yeah, it's like a little over 3 hours for me.
Same here, yeah.
And you camp out. There's showers. There's great people. There's great food, amazing food, actually. Sitting around a campfire, telling stories, having fun. It's just hanging out with your buddies all weekend, flying airplanes all day. It's a good time.
Did you sleep in your hammock?
I slept in my hammock.
There you go. You are
trees were scarce, so I had to put up between one tree and then the roof rack of my car.
Oh, you're a true camper, man, staying in that hammock. You know, I have the same hammock that you do.
Yeah.
And I like sitting in it sideways and just relaxing. But if I try to sleep in that thing, man, it is just, I feel like a burrito. It just, everything's just like this.
Yeah. Well, you do it diagonal. So you don't do like a banana. You do diagonal, and then you bring in a few pillows and some blankets or a sleeping bag or something. I won't sleep any other way outdoors camping. That's the only way I'll do it.
You should bring like a hookah in there and have some scented oils and pillows everywhere.
I hang a USB fan from the bug net roof.
Nice.
And so if it's hot, I'll have a fan blowing on me and my USB battery power in my phone and the fan and everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, with you doing that tent camping, it makes me sleeping on the roof of my truck seem like a luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of camping, is it just me, or are you already like excited for Joe Knoll again?
Joe Knoll, it's coming around the corner.
It's coming around the long distance corner. I don't know, man. There's a lot of that is one of my favorite places to go, and there's a lot of stuff. They got E-Week that's starting.
It ain't going on right now?
Today. It started today. Yeah.
I wish I was there.
Mm-hmm. Or is it the 24th? Either way, it's happening. You got Heli Extravaganza that's ending now, and E-Week that's
kicking off. Yep.
Yeah. So the Electric Knoll is what they call it.
Well, I guess Jim's not gonna make it back. I'm gonna head out to the Pro Bro tomorrow, so maybe next week we can kind of talk a little more about the show. And
yeah, if you guys can conjure up some good cell service, we could try this again tomorrow. If not, no problem. We can talk about it post-event.
Yeah.
So,
well, guys, I don't really have anything else.
All right. Well, everybody, you've watched the short edition of the RCGroups Podcast, the world's largest and most active radio-controlled network. We got Flying Giants. We got Heli Freak, RCGroups, and Jim's at Pro Bro. So he is doing his thing and having a good time. And I don't think we should bother him anymore. He tried so hard to get a good signal, but he's out there in the woods, man. What are you going to do? So, all right. Well, with that said, we'll go ahead and sign off. Jason, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right,
everybody
guys.
Out there, hit the like button, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later, everyone.